Hey Tabitha. So now that we've gone through how to add an article and a menu item, the next thing that we're going to do is teach you how to add photos to your site and to your pages. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the article manager and we're going to go back to our test article. And when we open this up, we'll see the name and everything is still there. Our text is still there. So let's say we wanted to add an image. So what we'll do is we'll come down to this image button. You'll also may notice that this is simplified from the last video. We actually put in a different editor that makes it a little easier for you to kind of see where you're doing and what you're doing as far as text. So same lots of options like Microsoft Word, but a lot more simplified with less of the coding options that are more specific to web development. You can add images and still you can add links and do all kinds of stuff, but it doesn't have things like Java coding and things, which I don't think you necessarily are going to want to use. So back to the image. So when we click on image down here, it's going to open up this window. And these are all of the images that are currently uploaded and available for you to use for your site. So let's say that there wasn't an image, there was a new image you wanted to add. So we go down here to the upload file section and click on browse. This will take us into your hard drive of your computer. I've already gone to the pictures section. Let's say I want to put a picture of this koala on here, so I'll click open. And then once it's set up, click start upload. And what it's going to do is it's going to upload that koala image, koala.jpg. Here it is now in and available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. It's going to populate this link down at the bottom. There's other items here specific to the image. If you want to add a description or a title, that's really more for people who don't either have a browser that can see photos, or if you want to put some text so that a search engine can understand what that photo is. In this case, we don't really need to do either of those. We don't really need to worry about the alignment. So we're just going to click insert. And what it's going to do is it's going to insert our gigantic picture of a koala into our article. Once we're done, we'll go ahead and we'll click save. And let's actually go in and we'll add our menu item back so that we can see what it looks like. So we'll go through here, we'll add our menu item back in. So this is the other reason of why you would maybe unpublish as opposed to delete an item. So we'll publish that back in. Now if you go back to the bottom, you'll see that this menu item is now re-engaged. And when we click on refresh, this will open here. We'll click on that link. Here's our article, and then here's our gigantic picture of a koala. Now the important thing to know here, and this is a really good example to show you, is that when you upload the image into the article, a lot of times the images that you have are going to be rather large. They're going to come from a camera or an iPhone that has a really, really big display. And so what will happen is you'll get images that are very, very large. So if you go in and click on this edit image button, what you'll see here is dimensions, alignment, all the things that we saw in the original upload. But dimensions, for example, we can change this to be 200 by, let's say, 200. So what this means is that the size of the image is going to come in at its largest state, whatever that is. But you may want it to show up smaller in the site. So by adjusting these dimensions and hitting update, that'll shrink the image down to fit there. And if I hit save, and then if I refresh this page, we'll see that our image has shrunk. Now, one thing that we need to keep in mind is, and this is one of the things with web development, is even though this image looks smaller, the size of the image is still the same. We're just telling the web page to show it and display it smaller. So if you have a 5 megabyte high def image that you were to upload here, and then you only wanted to show up as a 200 by 200 pixel image, and pixels are the size of measurement for images on the web, you would end up with a 5 megabyte file that's 200 by 200. And usually when you're putting this sort of an image in, an image this size is going to be much, much smaller than 5 megabytes. and the larger the file is, the slower the page is going to be to load. So one of the things you want to know is what size do you ultimately want the image to be on your page. And if you want it to be 200 by 200, then you should use a software program like Photoshop, or there's a bunch of them out there that will do some sort of photo editing for you, where you can go in and actually take the photo, take a copy of it, because you don't want to mess with the original. So take a copy of the photo and then shrink it or crop it to the size that you actually want it to show up on the page. So if you wanted it to show up as 200 by 200, take a copy of the image, crop it to 200 by 200, and then upload that image. And that'll actually make the page load a lot faster, and it'll make it easier to upload. It'll make it easier all the way around. The quick way to check to see if that's actually worked is when you're over an image, if you right click and say view image, this will show you the underlying photo as it was uploaded. So in this case, it's showing us this huge picture of a koala because we didn't crop it to the right size. It's actually 1024 by 768. So it's about 5 times or 10 times bigger than what we would really want. If this was cropped to 200 by 200 and I did the view image, it would only show up as a 200 by 200 image. So that's one way to make sure that your pages are loading quickly. If it's not, what you'll start to see is this will start to load progressively. So you'll see the ears, and then you'll see the eyes, and it'll go through like that. So just a tip for if you're adding images to your site, and you want to do that. As far as forms go, so if you wanted to add a form, and we've been doing PDF forms, the way that you add a PDF form is you'll go into content, you'll go into Media Manager, and here you'll see all of our photos. And when you go into here, what you'll do is go to Browse, and instead of adding an image, you'll find your PDF file. In this case, we're going to treat an image like a PDF file. So we'll say jellyfish.jpg, and we're going to, for the sake of another kind of tip and trick, is we're going to make it all lowercase. It just makes it easier when you're trying to set up links and things like that to make that happen. So we'll go ahead and we'll hit upload, and what we'll see is that our jellyfish is right there. It looks like it didn't actually take the lowercase, so we'll just remember that it's uppercase. So now we'll go back to our article manager, and what we're going to do is go to our test article. And unlike before where we could just go in and add an image, if you go in and add an image, although in this case you'll see the jellyfish, you won't see any PDFs or any Word documents or anything like that. It's only going to show you image files. So what we really need to do is we need to add some code to the page to go in and find that link. And what we've done is, we'll close out of this, created in this Contact Us page some sample code. So here, where we initially had our patient form and there's a link to click to download, what we'll do is we'll go in and we'll look at the HTML that underlies it. And I know this looks very, very hard to read, but if you imagine that these are paragraphs, what we can do is go in and right here, this area, I'll highlight it. Right here is the area that is talking about that form. And so what we'll do is we'll copy this information here, and I will give you the text version of this so that you'll have this for reference, but this will just show you the steps that you'll do to actually go into the editor. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy this. So we're going to copy the text, copy the code, and we're going to go back to our test form, or our test page. And when we get back to our test page, we're going to open that up, and we're going to go into the HTML. And what we'll say is, we're going to say new form here. And let's say we want to add the link to the here. So we'll make this new form download here. And I'm going to go into the HTML. And what you'll see here is a lot of kind of, this is our original text, this test right here. Anything on the inside of these brackets is the actual text that's going to show on the page. The rest of this coding are tags that are telling the browser how to interpret the actual text. And that's why we use these editors, is because it actually will embed all of this tagging without us having to do it manually. Some of these, though, you still need to do yourself. So when it comes to a new form, here you'll see the text new form download here that corresponds to this text right here. And what we'll do is we'll click on here. And the reason that we do that is you have to put a tag. There has to be an opening tag and a closing tag on any text that you are going to be adding links to or adding any sort of styling to. So in this case, here is the word that we want to make linkable. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to paste in the code that we had earlier. So this is saying that we have a link to reference this images patient form.pdf. The target is blank, so that means that when we click on this link, it's going to open up a new window for us that will display the page, so it won't take people away from the website. It's going to happen when we click on the word here, and then this kind of /a means that that's going to stop the link. So the link starts with this A and ends with this A. So what we could do is we could either take this, what we'll do is we'll delete this here, and we're going to move the tag to the other side of our here just by dragging it over. So now we can use the patient form new.pdf as an example. So this is a form that we had uploaded earlier. We could also put our jellyfish image in here as well. So we'll do the patient new PDF just to show you what a form looks like. So now that we've got that, we're going to click update. And what you'll see now is new form download here, and here is underscored with the blue text to show that it is linked. It has a link in it. And so when we go here now and we're going to go save, and we'll go over to our test page and we're going to hit refresh. And so now we see the text and it says new form download here. When I click on this, it's going to open up that form just like that. So it's in a new tab. So now if the user wants to go back to the site, they haven't completely left the site. They don't have to use the back button, and it's all right there. So that's how you add a new form. You can always use if there's something, for example, that you see on one page that you really like and you'd like to use on another, you can always go into that page, copy the HTML, which is the coding, just by clicking on this HTML button, and this opens up all of the source code. So you can edit the source code here, you can add, delete, whatever you want to do, but that's how you would go ahead and do that if you wanted to. There's some basic code tags that you can put in that you can learn pretty easily. There's stuff online, little tutorials that'll teach you tips and tricks. If there's ever something that you need really quickly, I'm more than happy to send you the code snippet that you would need to add in here. But I think that form code is pretty much all you'll need to start with. So that's how you would go ahead and add a form. Once you've done it once or twice, you'll be able to get it without a problem. So we'll go ahead and we'll save and close this page so you'll have it for reference. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the menu item off. And we'll go ahead and close out of this window. We'll go ahead and log out. And that's pretty much it. If there's other things that you would need assistance with, please feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to help you with that. Changing big colors and things like that, there are best things for our team probably to do right off the bat while you get more familiar with your own HTML coding. But the basic maintenance of adding pages, adding new images, adjusting text, those are all things that you can easily do. and hopefully this video or the